Hi there, and welcome to another video with Mitt Rayam. This video is going to be about resource production basics. This is probably the first video I should have made, but I didn't really fully understand its need until recently, I guess. So here we go. We're going to talk about where do your resources come from, what happens when your city hits capacity, and what that means to your ability to grow and help others in your order. So these are your resource buildings, these 25 tiles here on the right side of your city. In each of those 25 spots, you can build a building that produces either food, lumber, stone, or iron. And as you level them, they get stronger, like everything else in your city. And you've noticed when you look at them, not only do they have a cost, but down below they have some numbers that they mean something. If you've looked at them, you know that the stone and the lumber are equivalent. They produce the same amount. They're the same. They're at the same level. The food produces slightly more and can store slightly more, and the iron produces slightly less. That doesn't make them better or worse. It just changes how easy or hard it is to get certain resources. So at level 21, right, this stone building produces per hour 8,400 units of stone, 8,400. And just below that, you can see that this building can only store 602,000 units of stone. What does that mean? Well, it means exactly what it says. That is the capacity of this building, and when the capacity is reached, it's full. The stone quarry workers stop working. They say, I got no place to store the rest of the stone. I guess I'm going home. And they stop working. So it is very important that you don't let your city reach this capacity level, or you will stop producing resources. Excuse me. So you can see my hyper-producing city here. That's another topic if you're interested in hyper-production. I have several other videos on that topic. But you can see I have 21 level 21 quarries. Each of those quarries then will hold that 602,000 units of stone. And then I've got this other level 23 quarry. So altogether, how much do they hold? How do I know when my city will stop producing? Well, I could add them all up, but there's a much simpler way to do this. Like almost everything that you want to know about your city, it is contained in the statistics of your palace. On this first economy page here, not only does it tell you your production rate for your city, but it tells you the capacities for each resource as well. In my stone hyper-producing city, you'll see my production per hour at the top here. You can see my pointer. You can see how much I currently have. You can see how much my treasury protects. That has nothing to do with your capacity of your city before the production stops. I know it says capacity, but this is just the protected amount. This is the capacity. See, this is the capacity of your buildings. This is one of the new researches that were added a couple weeks ago. Here is the amount of stone at which my city stops producing. So however that stone got here, whether my raiders carried it back from other cities, whether I harvested it from tiles, whether my cities themselves produced it, doesn't matter where it came from. As soon as this number up here at the top, oops, that wasn't what I wanted to do. Sorry. As soon as that number up there at the top says that I have 13,696,410 units of stone in the city, boom, stop, no more. If you're gone for a day and you come back, that's how much stone you'll have. I'll have. This isn't your city, it's my city. So it's really important to know what your capacity is so that you can stay below that, so you can continue producing your 3 million stone per hour or your 9 million stone per hour or whatever level your city is at, this is the capacity after which you don't produce anymore, and your city is now laying dormant, and you're not helping anyone. Because this is a hyper producer, I only had one lumber mill, one iron, whatever it is, one iron mine, and one farm. So those actually have really low capacities, and this is a really good example. Sure, I'd be producing 35,000, what is this, lumber per hour, but I've already got almost 5 million here, and I can only produce up to 852,000. I've got way over my capacity. So right now I currently have 4977813, ends in 813. If I refresh this page and I go back, I've still got the same number. Same number. I'm not producing any lumber. Now that doesn't mean my city can't hold more lumber. I can go and pillage some more. I can go and yield some more from tiles. I can buy some more with gold or money. But this effortless production in your city, which should be the main way you're getting resources, is not happening for my lumber or my iron or my food. It's only for my stone. Now, if I wasn't hyper-producing and I had 6 of each building, right, and each of them would then have a capacity of, if they're all level 21, would have a capacity of 3.6 million resources. What can I do with 3.6 million resources? I can't even build the next level of a house. I'd have half the food I need. Not even close to enough to build an infirmary. Right? So at that point, you need to borrow from someone else. You need to go and you need to yield for a long time and have your city not producing. You need to be dependent on somebody else now. You're not being self-sufficient anymore. Try not to make this too long-winded here. But so this goes into the how much are you actually producing, right? I'm making 3 million per hour, but if I'm not dumping it often enough, if I'm not making sure I stay under capacity, I'm not producing 3 million times 24 hours in a day necessarily. If you want to kind of get an idea for how well your city is producing, there is a measure out on the main bit here when you look at your city itself. There's a measure that will tell you how many resources you have produced. Down here at the bottom, you can see how much you've yielded, you can see how much you've plundered, and you can see how much your city has produced. Right, 10 billion. That's pretty good. I'm pretty sure that that's more than I've spent. But you will see people whose cities haven't even produced 1 billion resources yet. There are some people who haven't even produced 100 million resources yet. And they're trying to build level 22, level 23 buildings that cost 100 million resources. That's not working. They're not producing enough resources to build their city. They need to fix something. You can also get an even better sense of where you're at with resources back here in the palace, in your statistics page where we just were. And I will comment at this point that the Apple version looks significantly different and unfortunately a lot more useful for what I'm trying to explain here. The Android one here has some really bogus numbers. And I say bogus because you'll see down here at the bottom there's this one that really bothers me. Spent on troop upkeep. I have to assume that that's food that your troops are eating. But there is no way I wasted 16 billion food on my troops. No, my troops have not even eaten a couple 100 million yet. So I think that this is maybe a counter keeping track of all the food they would have eaten. I don't know what good that is, but then that screws up this number, which makes this whole page really dumb. But what I want to point out on here is you can accurately track how many resources your city has has received from other order members. And you can see how much you've sent to them. And you can see if you're helping or hurting, if you're giving or taking, if you're a mooch or if you're actually holding your own weight. So this is a really cool page, I think. But like I said, some of it's a little bogus. Okay, I think that was all I was trying to cram into this video. So hopefully you have an idea how to know how much your city is able to produce. You know how to keep it under capacity so that it keeps producing, right? You send off your resources to somebody else, a bank or someone who needs it, and then you ask for them back when you need them again. And you can kind of keep track of, are you producing enough to be where you're at in the game? Or do you need to up your production instead of keep building your palace higher? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.